Hello, I am Queen Kunde Enoch. Join us every Tuesday, 8 to 8:30 p.m. on the program Talking Peace, where we raise discourse on how to attain peaceful coexistence and tolerance in our society.
Talking Peace is a production of ZT Communications in partnership with Taraba State Broadcasting Service TSBS Jalingo.
For enquiries and advert placements, please call 0803 454 0469.
Talking Peace is the meeting point. Join us.
Hello, glad to know you are still tuned in here. I am Queen Kunde Enoch, welcoming you to this maiden edition of the program Talking Peace. Talking Peace is aimed at featuring discourse that would foster peaceful coexistence within our communities. Peace, as we all know, is priceless and a lead way to enabling development in any society. And so here on Talking Peace, we will feature on a weekly basis experts to enlighten us on how we can attain this priceless gift, peace, in our society. We sure desire peace in all facets of our lives. If you have just joined in, the program is Talking Peace, and today we have a cleric who has devoted so much time in developing peaceful strides at the grassroots. Join me to welcome on Talking Peace today, Reverend Dr. Innocent Solomon. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you and welcome.
All right, sir, like I did mention in the prologue there, you operate a foundation aimed at fostering peace at the grassroots. Am I correct?
Correct. Absolutely correct.
Okay, could you tell us more about that foundation and why you set it up?
Innocent Solomon Foundation for World Peace, otherwise known as Center for Development, was founded many years ago with the intention of building peace, building bridges among people of diverse backgrounds, ethnic, religious, color, race, class. And we have been operating, and we've been doing a lot to foster interreligious togetherness. We operate in different platforms. For instance, we use the media to share the ideas of peace and to encourage people to live together in harmony, to bury our differences. We also involved in writing. I've written about 5 books that are dedicated to the Nigeria Peace Project books. The first book is Peace in Nigeria, the Starting Point. And the other one is about religion as an instrument of development. The third is about religion and the quest for global peace and security. The other one is about Christian-Muslim relation in Nigeria, the way forward. Several other things. We have organized conferences in different places in Taraba and Adamawa State to bring people of different religious backgrounds together to discuss the strategy we need to adapt as people of faith to encourage peaceful coexistence in communities. We have engaged in several other forums to ensure that people are educated in that contributing to peace building in society and for national development.
Wow, that's a giant stride there if you ask me. But what do you make of the incessant, unrest in most of our communities, despite this effort you and maybe many others have been doing to ensure that we have peaceful coexistence in our society?
I think we need sustained effort because it's not enough. Building peace must be deliberate, must be consistent. Building peace must be collaborative. Building peace must be a responsibility that all stakeholders, government, people, opinion leaders, traditional rulers, religious leaders, youth, women, every sector of society must deliberately be conscious of this responsibility that if we need peace, we must build it, we must sow the seed of peace, we must consistently do it and ensure that it is achieved. But, the fact is that coexistence is not an option. It is a must. You like it or not, you will always have to coexist with people with differences, either of language, color, religion, opinion, class. The choice is up to us to make it peaceful, profitable, and engaging for advancing development, or chaotic to hinder progress development and to cause harm with unpalatable consequences. So I believe that people need to know that peaceful coexistence is not an option. It is something we must endeavor to achieve and achieve it peacefully. Societies exist in an environment of interdependence. We live in an ecosystem where it is expected that through mutual interaction, we can positively sustain the environment that can guarantee the survival of all of us. Calabar, for instance, Queen. Calabar, for instance, is a mini Nigeria, one of the largest ethnic diversity in the country. There are probably over 50 ethnic groups in Calabar State. So we don't have the choice but to peacefully coexistence. It is a responsibility that is on all stakeholders. Everybody must be involved and it must be consistent. The idea of touching on peace just once in a while, or probably when there are crises and then government, police, law enforcement agents move in to quell that crisis, that's not the way to achieve sustainable peace. Sustainable peace must be through effective education, through mobilization, through effective collaboration and networking among communities consistently. The aspect of education in order to achieve peace cannot be underplayed, cannot be underestimated. So it is something we must do consistently. It is this disconnect that we always have about peace building that is responsible for all the crises that we have in our country, in our communities, and in our grassroots areas.
Oh, well, that's why we have, thought it wise to have a platform like this, Talking Peace, a consistent program here on CSBS and other platforms like our online platform, DT Online News, where we would certainly want to share, experts talk about those antidotes we can apply to enjoy peaceful coexistence. So, of course, this is going to be a continuous process, no longer one stop or at a point where there are crises like Dr. Innocent just observed there. But, sir, from all that you have said and all you have done in the past about attaining peace, could you give us an antidote? Share with us that antidote that would lead to peaceful coexistence, because I think that's one very difficult factor we lack in our society. Intolerance, at the slightest provocation, you see a lot of, unrest. What are those mechanisms you said can be put in place to ensure that, people also buy into this drive to maintain peaceful coexistence in our society?
Let me say this way, that you see, people need to know that living together peacefully, there are many advantages and, benefits to enjoy.
Okay.
Rather than living in chaos and in acrimony. The benefits are enormous. That is why it should be a choice for us to live together peacefully. If you don't live together peacefully, you hamper development, you cause harm to the community. Nobody will be able to live and fulfill its potentials. the systems will break down. People might lose their lives, economic breakdown. Of course, part of the reason why the North is the poverty capital of the world is because we have lived continually in acrimony and in violence and in wars and in conflict. Northern Nigeria is an unfortunate experience in the past many years now because of the way we have decided to live among ourselves. So we must see the benefits. We must see the benefits of building a peaceful, harmonious community. When we are able to see the benefits, it is something we will pursue with all our hearts. I think, like I said, all stakeholders must be involved. Particularly, the government must have the political will to encourage peaceful coexistence among the people by way of building structures. You know, in most Nigerian societies and states, and you find out that there are no effective mechanisms that foster peace deliberately, particularly, you know, that enjoy the funding of government consistently.
How do you mean?
And because of that, people who have the commitment to do one or two things to build society, to build peace, they are not adequately motivated. The environment has not motivated them enough to do much. So if people are not well educated and informed about the benefits of our living together, definitely they will do the other one in the slightest provocation, either because of politics, because of religion, because of ethnicity. They will do so much to harm the community where they're supposed to derive benefits and live for the progress of society.
What are those mechanisms you said can be put in place to ensure that people also buy into this drive to maintain peaceful coexistence in our society?
Yes, what I'm saying is that government must play a frontline role here by ensuring that they develop structures within communities that enhance networking, collaboration, sharing of ideas, community, communication, and then particularly in building the peace itself. For instance, there's nothing wrong with the Taraba state government or government of other states in this country to have a conflict resolution, organ of government that will deliberately, bring out what it takes to build a peace and to resolve conflicts and to encourage conflict transformation across societies. There's always what we call warning signs. Before any conflict will ever emerge, there will always be issues that will point to the fact that if they are not handled properly, there's likely going to be a breakdown of law and order. Either issues of land, issues of marriages in communities, and so many traditional other issues. So government must allow these structures to do proper research within communities and bring out issues. Sometimes it's about injustice. Sometimes it's about political marginalization. Sometimes it's about, people's rights are being trampled upon. Privileges that's supposed to go to people who doesn't reach them. So they become disenfranchised and nobody's hearing them. Once a community is marginalized, they can't be heard, that their challenges are not addressed, you are already building a conflict situation. So we need structures put in by government to encourage, research work and then bring to bear issues that need to be resolved through strategic means and to instill peace and reconciliation within societies. If that is done, that is a step forward. We also need, like I said, NGOs, activities, grassroots organizations, that will really be involved in peace building. I don't know. There are a lot of NGOs that are doing one or two things, but I think we do not have sufficient NGOs dealing with grassroots issues of peace building. So we need to encourage the environment, government, and the people need to encourage people who are in the field of peace building and conflict resolution by way of giving them attention, by way of encouraging what they are doing, and by way of collaborating with them at all levels to make sure that we achieve peace and peaceful coexistence. In Taraba, for instance, we have virtually every tribe, virtually every community has a chiefdom. These chiefdoms should be handled because these are platforms where you can encourage peaceful community, peaceful coexistence among the people. The chiefdoms must be, particularly the chief, the top tier chief, the second tier chiefs, all the classes of chiefs should be well educated and, talk about conflict mechanism, conflict resolution mechanism. They should be at the forefront of working with government and working with stakeholders to build peace within their community. These are very critical because we have these structures, but they are not properly filtered towards achieving peaceful coexistence, and that's why we continue to have challenges.
All right, you did mention about government getting involved, laying the structure or, the foundation. And as a matter of fact, we have for the Taraba State government, the governor, Architect Darius Dixon Ishaku, has constantly reminded the people at the community level to give him peace and then he gives development. Is that not a good start point for attaining this peaceful desire we want and then a step from the government angle? How do we build on that?
It is an appreciative, it's a very commendable position by the government and by His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Taraba State. Since he came into office, that has been his slogan, that has been his position. But I think, like I'm saying, more to that, the responsibility, the challenges of building peace must not be left without strategic approach. We need strategic approach. We need structural approach. We need collaborative systems within the community that are prone towards building peace deliberately, consistently. For instance, the university we have, Taraba State University, there should be a very strong conflict resolution department, a department that is building citizens, because the essence of any university is to be able to give education of all kinds to citizens so that they can contribute to the development of the people. We need a very strong peace-building, conflict resolution department that is giving orientation to Taraba youth citizens, so that when they graduate from the university, even while they are there, of course, even that department will continue to bring out research information that can help government in dealing with crisis situations. I think if we do that, we do. Then we need also the religious leaders to use their platforms. I think the biggest opportunity religious leaders have in this country, anywhere in the world, a group on Friday, all people, politicians, business people, youth, women, they go to the mosque to pray. And the Muslim clerics have the opportunity to build their capacity about how to live together peacefully. The same thing on Sunday. Nobody is left out. So the religious platforms, government must deliberately encourage. Of course, it must be a responsibility on religious leaders to see their platforms as a platform for building peace. For instance, I'm a Christian cleric, and we believe in Christianity that blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Peacemaking is something we must do deliberately. So if we don't use our pulpits and our platforms that is agog with people of different backgrounds that come to us, ethnic and class, and encourage them to live in harmony, then we are going to reap what we sow. It is the things you preach to people, it is the things you incorporate in their mindset, the doctrines you build in the minds of the people that you harvest in society. So we must encourage the religious platforms to be deliberate about peace building. So these are things that if we do, we certainly can achieve it. And then politics without bitterness is critical. Politics in Nigeria have played a very, very, very bad role in the peace effort that we try to achieve. Because people want to get to power by all means. People want to achieve power, not because they have any vision for the people, but because they want to line up their pockets. Because they want to be known, they want to grab power by all means. And so they do all kinds of things without due process. And because there are no due process, they get there, they have nothing to offer the people. And so governance is lacking. And so because governance is lacking, good governance is lacking. It brings about breaking down of systems. Government is all over the place, and then our strategic systems like educational systems, health systems, and other social systems that need to guarantee, people happy and fulfilled. They are not there because people who go to power, by all means, do not even have the vision to sustain development and governance. So we need to address our political systems, because if you look at what happened in Kogi State, you'll be shocked that human beings will go to that extent because they want power. And I think the effort that Nigerians are crying out to government to address the issue of electoral process in this country, so that credible people can come to the place of authority and exercise good governance for the development of the people. Otherwise, we'll continue to have acrimony, because these politicians who don't know even purpose of governance, they will hire thugs and then arm them with all kinds of weapons, and then at the end of the day, you have a society that is plagued with all kinds of unauthorized weapons. Today in our community, you know very well that almost virtually every community you can find lots of AK-47 people moving around. People moving around on machines, on Okada, with AK-47 going to fight in other places, and they're led armed banditry in this country. So where are these arms coming from? I believe part of where these arms are coming from is during politics. Some youth are armed because somebody wants to grab power, and at the end of the day, you cannot confiscate, you cannot take back these arms, so they become nuisance in society. These are decisions, and the thing is, we're able to address them properly, with sense of duty and responsibility towards God and towards humanity. We want that peace that we want in society.
All right, before I let you go, Dr. Innocent, we cannot divorce this crisis and our agile youth being, influenced negatively most of the time. How do we correct this? Our leaders of tomorrow being negatively harnessed for very wrong reasons, which are unrest in the society.
Yeah, part of the thing we need to do is to stop addressing them as leaders of tomorrow. Let's start building their consciousness to take responsibility. Of course, if those powers that be do not develop strategic programs to engage youth, because the youth have an energy they want to disperse. They have passion they want to dispatch. If they are not given employment, if they are not actively involved and engaged, if they are not, if the programs are not there to engage their mind, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So we need strategic programs that will engage the youth to be constructive in building society. We need to engage them in many platforms and get them to be part of what we believe we are doing to provide governance. So there must be thorough education to make sure that the youth are carried along, rather than involving youth as talks and interpreting during political era and campaigns. Let's find a way of letting the youth know that they have better roles in society than it is. I'm happy that most governments have created youth departments. These youth departments must be actively engaged in doing one or two things to make sure that the youth are engaged. The youth are very critical, and they have a lot of role to play. They are the ones that run errands for the politician and for the elites of society. So if they are not well guided, they can cause harm rather than bringing about positive development. And Nigeria has a huge youth pool that we can harness together and make sure that we become the number one black country in the world that has the capacity to influence international politics and global issues. So we need the youth. So dropping them or marginalizing them at the background and saying their job is they're the future leaders, that has no help matters. We need the youth. We need young people to be governors. We need young people to be ministers. We need young people to be involved in strategic development programs in our country. Yes.
Today I've also learned here that we don't need to wait till tomorrow to take those leadership roles, because we must engage our youth from today to ensure they get better tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Dr. Innocent, for your time on the program here, Talking Peace, to enlighten us on how we can attain peaceful enjoy peaceful coexistence in our various communities.
Thank you so much.
All right, that has been the program today, Talking Peace. But if you joined in not from the beginning, you did sure miss a lot. But you can watch the entire package again on our online platform, www.ztonline.com. But you join us again same time next week here for another enlightening package. I'm yours sincerely, Queen Kunde Enoch, asking you to keep the dialogue here. Bye for now.
Why don't we come together, love one another, so the world can live as one. Let there be peace in our hearts, peace in our homes, peace in the nation and the world. Peace in our hearts, peace in our homes, peace in the nation and the world. May your life be filled with love. May your days be long and happy. And may you know the joy that comes from above. May the world be filled with love. When there's peace all over the world. We are the women of Nigeria, and peace is what we bring. Let it rain, let it rain everywhere. We are the people of Nigeria, and peace is what we need, so that all can live as one. Let there be peace in our hearts, yeah, peace in our homes, peace in the nation and the world. Peace in our hearts, peace in our homes, peace in the nation and the world. Peace in our hearts, peace in our homes, peace in the nation and the world. Peace in our hearts, peace in our homes, peace in the nation and the world. Sing it, peace in our hearts, peace in our homes, peace in the nation and the world. Peace in our hearts, peace in our homes, peace in the nation and the world. I'm talking about peace in our hearts, peace in our homes, peace in the nation and the world. Can you feel it? Peace in our hearts, peace in our homes, peace in the nation and the world. All over, peace in our hearts, peace in our homes.
Hello, I am Queen Kunde Enoch. Join us every Tuesday, 8 to 8:30 p.m. on the program Talking Peace, where we raise discourse on how to attain peaceful coexistence and tolerance in our society.
Talking Peace is a production of City Communications in partnership with Taraba State Broadcasting Service TSBS Jalingo.
For enquiries and advert placements, please call 0803 454 0469.
Talking Peace is the meeting point. Join us.